I'd like to turn the microphone over to Mr. Stan Wooten.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Pareto. Before we begin, one thing that really caught my attention is that it was great to see that Dr. Brad Wingert renewed his season tickets for this year. So thank you, Dr. Wingert.
We could have gotten better seats this year. I mean, at least a second row.
And there we go, good call. And Mrs. Zona, thank you for joining us as well, one of our administrators from Niagara Falls High School. But as we talked about in early July, I had the distinct honor of putting together an amazing team to prepare for the opening of schools. And it is here, and we are ready, we are prepared, and there is most certainly a team that has done an absolutely fantastic job in preparing for the opening of schools. Before I jump into our opening of schools PowerPoint, I do want to introduce that to my left, we have a very special board member, Mr. Kulraj Lucky, who is our school board member for the 2026-2027 school year. At the 7 o'clock meeting, we will officially swear in Mr. Lucky, but we are grateful for you being here. I've had the distinct honor of speaking with you multiple times throughout the summer, sitting in on your interview for this opportunity, and all along, you have done a fantastic job. So on behalf of the board, welcome. Thank you. Pleasure to be here. As I mentioned, we are ready for the opening of schools, and this document that we have here in front of you that we are going to present will highlight some of the very important pieces that we have put together for you. This document, first and foremost, highlights the collaboration of the central office team, and really how I use this phrase often, how we set the table from the district perspective. This work here will showcase the work that our team, the collaboration of our team. Additionally, that at our next board meeting, we're going to talk about our strategic vision moving forward. And one of the pillars is AI and technology. This, through the use of Microsoft Copilot, assisted us in putting it together. Just wanted to briefly mention that effective use of technology. You can see our teammates that are going to be talking this evening. We have the opportunity to introduce them in July. So what we like to do is get right to it, and we're going to ask Mrs. Buckman to step on up to the microphone. And as a team, we will quickly and swiftly go through this important information for all of you.
Good evening. I'd like to start just by acknowledging the work that was done over the summer and thanking the board for your support and putting forth the programming and supporting our programming, the 8 different programs that we are able to offer with our teaching staff, our TAs, our associates, and our students that ran essentially all summer long. And the importance of those programs in keeping students engaged in their learning, supported, fed, and with their friends and learning all summer. So I'd like to start again by thanking you for your support of our summer programming. As we talk about the year ahead, our school readiness activities have taken place. We have our DSIP that has been written with consultation of our central office teammates and school-based members. Each school has their own school comprehensive plan for improvement. We've tied those together with our SIG grant. That's a school improvement grant that comes from New York State, which funds the activities that are listed in the DSIP and the SEPs. And with that, we had professional development for our administrators and our coaches on one of our key driving initiatives, which is Tier 1 instruction, and making it highly engaging and of the highest quality that we can make it. So those were some of our school improvement initiatives that lead us to today with the opening of schools, where all of our curriculum is in place and accessible to all of our teachers, TAs, and associates. Together with a team of people, we've updated the family and consumer science curriculum so that we incorporate the personal finance requirement that was issued from New York State. We had new teacher orientation, where we welcomed our new employees and initiated them into our policies, our practices, and our curriculum. Had them meet with teachers who have been with us for quite some time to initiate them with our curriculum. And with that, we have our Superintendent's Conference Day, which will take place on Monday the 31st for all grade levels. All teachers and TAs will be engaged in activities that will help them prepare for the year ahead. From the summer and into the fall, we've had a variety of professional development activities take place, many of which are tied to the SEPs, so that we have a consistent program and consistent learning taking place, which includes technology. So ThinkTech is going to be a very important software tool that we will be using and continue to use. I think Mr. Granieri and Mrs. Tompkins will speak to that as well. Mr. Wotan also mentioned Magic School AI, which is our artificial intelligence tool that we are slowly but surely integrating into our world here in Niagara Falls. We have our special education department engaged in activities that'll help them service our students, such as Teach Town curriculum coaching, and our West Regional Partnership Center, they'll be working with our teachers at Abbott. Mrs. Velardo will speak to that. In reading and literacy, we have a new program called RISE that our interventionists at the sister schools will be learning about. And I'll skip down to Parent Square. That's our new family communication tool, which we'll be learning and implementing through the year ahead. And then we have some specialized topics. We have more than what was listed here, but in a very short space and short amount of time. I just wanted to capture that. We'll be giving curriculum updates on the 31st with the use and support and help of our instructional coaches. We have teaching strategies. That's our curriculum for UPK teachers, and they come in town and provide professional development on their specific curriculum, which is highly regarded and endorsed and supported by New York State. And then we also have our English as a new language teachers learning about something called WIDA, which my colleagues will be speaking about as well. So we've had a lot going on, we have a lot planned, and we're excited about it, and we thank you for your support. I'll turn it over to Ray.
Mrs. Buckman.
I'm sorry. I think it's on a communication plan that you're going to be hearing more about.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but I'll make a point of sharing that now. So Parent Square is taking the place of Remind. And what Parent Square will do is Parent Square, first and foremost, starting with our staff, that we will have a training for our staff and working with the Parent Square company, the best practice that they shared with us in implementing this and making sure that our teachers have the information is through a virtual training session. Mr. Granieri, is that correct?
Yeah, I can bring a little more depth if that works. So yeah, the delivery program that's endorsed, BOCES, who provides our initial support, we have excellent in-house integrators, and that's our first line of defense, and it'll never be replaced because that's the boots on the ground. BOCES, who we buy the software from. That's our first level of kind of like vendor support. And then there's Parent Square, the company itself. And it's something that a lot of vendors are pointing to now is they're looking to, and maybe it started with COVID, is an asynchronous model. So within the software itself, it has virtual tools, virtual sessions that can give you examples how to use the software. Then what you find, and some are good and some are bad and some are okay, inside it's a in-house bot-driven AI system, more of a question and answer. So on our website, we posted some of this stuff. It'll be formalized tomorrow, and we're going to start off on 831. Part of what Mrs. Buckman was talking about is 831 professional development. There's many sessions related for Parent Square. Then there's a host of other opportunities in school, regular personalized. Teacher Resource Center has offerings, and a variety of others. So. And the last thought I'll say on Parent Square is, and it's how it was relayed to us, is that this is just, it's not, this is what they said to me. I don't necessarily believe it to be completely true, but it's a fresh coat of paint on a different kind of house. Because we'd have Remind, there's some other packages on, so the actual functions of how we use Remind today is similar to what Parent Square does, just in a different kind of way. So, yes, ma'am. Yeah, they're all that same kind of package.
But is it going to make more sense to have everyone be using Parent Square instead of some using Dojo, some using
Yeah, that's actually a conversation we're having.
Yep, that's a great question, and something that we worked with our friends from NFT with, because one of the conversations that came up was a request to continue to use Class Dojo. I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, with the special ed department, that was a piece that the team with our exceptional learners and staff preferred that model, whereas in just working with the team, instead of having 4 or 5 different, we narrowed it to 2 to make sure that's met the needs of everyone involved.
Okay. So today I have a kind of a similar message that I have in previous years, little tweaks and a little bit of spin on some of it. And that being said, that first kind of column to the left is about system setup. And I'll use my typical example that changes every year. Mr. Wooten will help me a little bit with this. I believe Claire Wooten is still at LaSalle Prep School, but she's no longer in 7th grade, she's in 8th grade. So really what the left-hand column talks about is what, and the column doesn't do it justice because it's really a lot of work, but basically we do a Power School rollover, which describes, it takes Claire Wooten is now as an 8th grader, and now is in 8th grade courses, and there has to be enrollment and preparations for not hundreds, but 100 or so different systems and setups. So that's a huge piece, and really that kind of started just 2 weeks ago, because before you can actually start any of this, there is all sorts of activity from scheduling and projected scheduling to make sure that everyone's aligned in the proper courses for them. So that's, and then you had the network and system. It's like the access to get into these systems, then all the rostering. That's kind of the left-hand side, the left column. The middle column is talking about our learning platforms that can lean into more management, like Office 365 and Teams, and we're using it for instructional. The Schoology builds and resets, I want to spend just a little bit more to provide some depth on what we're doing. Schoology at its heart and soul is a learning management system, and that's what it's used for, primarily at Niagara Falls High School and leaked into some different areas. But what we're doing this year is we're providing some extra function built into Schoology. And some of the things you've been hearing about, like a student portfolio, performance-based learning, and some other things. So that's our hope this year. We worked last year to become a traditional learning management system, and now it's going to provide some other function. And the goal is to have consistent access for all staff and students. Our software portfolio, what we're really focusing on, and if you remember more than a few months ago, I was here talking about AI policy and all the precautions and policy-related things we need to run the system. We, I think, have landed on 2 perfect tools. One tool is Magic School AI. That's the school-based, which does 2 things. Does a lot of things, but 2 things in general. One, it helps teachers to teach AI, how to teach it best and how to have precautions, and the other piece is to make sure we stay within the guardrails. New systems come and go, end of life come and goes. I just listed a few of some new systems that we're working on. Dorico is a piece of software for high school music teachers. PLML, Professional Learning Management System. Vilajan is our new security camera software. We have some end-of-life, board docs, our good old friend board docs, most likely be going away in Apex. I'd like to add just a little depth on the additional exits and pilots. The Technology Committee was charged this year, and I had some people here that around that helped to do this. We were charged, every year we take a look at the software offerings that we have. This year we were charged to take an extra deep dive and to look at each piece of software, how it relates to appropriateness of curriculum. Does it include AI? Does it include responsible AI? And then the hardest piece was, because software changes all the time, is what software does things kind of similar? What software doesn't do a great job? So we looked at usage reports. We talked to teachers. We did all these things. And at the end, we came up with a series of software exits, some software decreases, and other adjustments. The example I will give you is ThinkTech, something led Lynn Tompkins leading, Kara Buckins assisting the Technology Committee in general. We are now employing ThinkTech full-time. It is an AI-driven component that has all sorts of assessment and other activities. And because how ThinkTech was developed and improved upon, we had a series of software like Kessel Learning, like Didactrina, a reduction in NWEA. So now we are focused on one piece of software that we can apply pointed PD and use. So I'm very thankful the Technology Committee worked very hard to get to this point. Just quickly, I always want to say this every year, and because it just is really it's a feat of a lot of things. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of good form. The reason we can operate in the manner that we can in talking with devices is Tommy Chandler and friends, his network friends. We image, wipe, fix, and inventory. I'm going to say 12,000 might even be a little bit low of student laptops and iPads. So at the end of at the start of the school year, you have consistent performance out of the box, and they all operate in the same kind of manner and super clean. So it's really a wonderful job by our network team. Cybersecurity readiness, I think we all kind of know how important this is. I kind of look at Mr. Petrozzi because he's helped with the conversation in a few things and to kind of emphasize the importance of cybersecurity. So this is just a little bit of list of things that we do over the summer to prepare for the student year. All educational activity agreements are refreshed, new hundreds. We continue to use encrypted tools. Thankful to Maria Massaro and the HR deployment because they use vector cybersecurity training that is first class. We update all the required documents we have, and we plan for internal testing just to kind of check ourselves to see where we are. And the last thing I want to say, and Mr. Petrozzi, I talked to you, and we are applying and expecting success on our cybersecurity insurance. There's a very strict criteria that's needed to get to it, and we've landed there and anticipated landing on there, and it's we can do this because good form of a lot of people. So that's all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
I think outstanding. I know you and your team have done a great job, and I know we've mentioned AI a couple of times, and it is an important tool. We have worked through policy. We have taken our time with the anchor programs that we've talked about, been very intentional, anticipate and welcome further conversations about appropriate use of AI. And I emphasize that because, of course, nothing replaces the hard work of our teachers and staff within the classroom. But when used appropriately, it can be a tool to enhance instruction.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you for your support.
Good evening. I'll give you guys a quick overview on our facility upgrades that we've been making over the past summer. We'll start with our safety and compliance. All of our playgrounds throughout the district have been certified with the help of Jimmy Combs, our safety rep. Our backflow preventers for the water systems have been tested and certified. We're doing lots of tree trimming around the district recently, keeping everything safe, low-hanging branches, making sure all our security cameras have clear views. Currently, right now, JCI Corporation's inside doing all of our fire alarm upgrades and repairs. And we're working alongside with our fire department, doing pre-planned inspections, getting ready for the upcoming school year. So they're familiar with all of our locations of all of our fire safety equipment. Throughout the summer, we've made some vast improvements in the district's buildings, mainly at the high school gym at Niagara Falls High School. We've refinished the floor in there and our auxiliary gyms. If you guys get a chance to go through there, floors look fantastic, brand new. Team worked extremely hard there. Extensive work on our softball, baseball fields. There's been stage 1 and 2 painting completing at Cataract Elementary School. It looks very beautiful in there. At the high school also, we've installed 22 carpets in the offices, gave it that a really nice upgrade, nice facelift. LaSalle Preparatory School, we've remodeled the clinic inside, new toilets, fixtures, faucets, looks very beautiful. We're also at LaSalle Preparatory School starting our generator project. We're working alongside closely with National Fuel Gas, who's been a very good partner. And also we've had recent work done to our football field with an additional light pole installed with the help of National Grid. They've been a very, very, very good partner in that. If there's any other questions, anything that we've seen?
I appreciate you going through these items, and I know you went through them quickly, but I just have to emphasize the great work that you and your team have done this summer. The buildings look great. I'll speak because of the where we are at in the auditorium here at Central Office. Michelle Joyle has done a great job of making sure that the floors are sparkling, that the auditorium here looks great. That's one example. And tying in with what Mr. Graneri talked about with the vector training and having our CSEA team here today, it felt good saying thank you to the entire team of the transportation department upstairs. There was the food service team, there was grounds, just to thank them for the hard work because it truly sets the tone for the school year for our kids. And thank you, Mr. Macri, for leading the work.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, our paint shop, our internal paint shop did the gym floors, completely stripped them and refinished them. Yep, all internal work. Yep.
And I also just quickly is that the blacktop work over at Abbott,
Yep.
in the back parking lot there, needed some attention. Great job there. That was fixed, I believe, 2 days ago, along with Cataract Elementary School in their parking lot.
Yep, we did the whole district in 2 days. We ended up making another way to G.J. Mann Elementary. Every parking lot was freshly blacktopped, all patched up. And our paint shop also internally is going through the signage of the directional arrows and all the crosswalk painting. That's all done internally. Usually, yep.
Mr. Zolna, can you use your mic, please?
It was just a question about I saw up there about the fire alarm systems and that they're all done in July or August. That's something I can relay that'll save time of them always having to ask for you to send over the dates of those.
Yeah.
That we know now they're all done throughout the entire district.
Yes, so it's kind of phasing. The first part is usually the fire extinguishers. Part of GCI comes first, then the internal mechanical side goes through the fire alarm system second. But they're closely in those 2 months. Besides the Ansel systems, yes. Yep. And right now any deficiencies are being addressed with our service upgrade that we've gotten from them or internally.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
For her first solo appearance, I think. There we go.
Oh.
I think her first solo appearance.
Yes. So
Marquesia, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, really? So I'm coming to you today to talk about fiscal readiness. In the Department of Finance, our summer months are spent on not only transitioning to a new school year, but also wrapping up 25-26 financials to get it ready for these upcoming deadlines that I'm going to talk about briefly here. Next week, we have our ST3 due September 2nd, and that is our annual financial report. This is a system that we submit our finances for 25-26, all of the funds, and this is what New York State uses to calculate state aid. And then for the final reports for our grants that ended in June 30th, those were all submitted on time and into the state. They are ready to be approved and reimbursed. Also, we have our audit season coming up. We have the audit committee scheduled for September 10th. This is where we're gonna go over the claim auditors' reports, as well as Drexler and Malecki, our external auditors, will be coming in to just talk about the process for upcoming audit and what to expect. They are set to be on site September 21st. Usually they're here for 2 weeks, and then they're off-site, getting the financial statements ready for the board and the audit committee for hopefully October 15th. Obviously, if there's any, changes with that, we will communicate it with Mr. Wooten as well as the board as time goes on. But other than that, we are still ongoing monitoring 26, 27 financials as well. So that's our update for now.
You and the team have done a great job, and the ongoing communication throughout the summer has been fantastic because, truly, it is the heartbeat of the district, our finances. And we get to be able to do the wonderful things that we do, of course, with the support of the board, but by the work that is done within your office with your team. So thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Massaro.
Hello, hello, hello. So, summer is a very fun time in the Human Resources Office. We in June say farewell to all of our retirees, and then we turn our attention to the new hires and bringing in new people. As you know, the Niagara Falls City School District employs a little over 1,500 employees. And of those 1,500 employees, approximately 1,000 of them will be returning on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So we've been busy getting them hired and rehired, and that's what that 452 number stands for there. A lot of your staff is hired annually, and by a lot, I mean there are 300 tall teacher associate union employees that are hired annually. In addition to that, we have what we call in our district regular substitutes. Those are really contracted teachers who are either in for teachers on special assignment or those who are on long-term absences. So this summer, in our instructional roles, we hired or rehired 92 teachers. We hired and rehired 4 school counselors. A new hire was a school psychologist. We rehired 31 teaching assistants and 4 pupil service assistants. When you move on to the next slide, the next column in the slide, you'll see we hired 8 CSEA members, 3 Head Start. We have 4 new principals and 4 new assistant principals. And then we have 12 teachers who are beginning the year on full-time leaves. So to cover those, we're hiring 4 retirees under 211 waivers. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with 211 waivers, we got an extension through the end of the 27 school year for retirees to be able to return to the district while they're collecting their pension. Mr. Petrosi? I do, and that'll be on the next slide, but I'll tell you right now. So one is in world language, 2 are in music, and we have 1 coming back in science. We also had to hire 3 additional retirees for long-term substitute roles. Those long-term substitute roles are in the area of special education. Substitute needs are changing with additional leaves. When you turn to the next slide, oh, that's me doing it, sorry. As we mentioned on the previous slide, Mr. Petrosi, the unfilled certificated areas are retirees, music, world language, speech, and science. We've hired a general repairer in the carpentry shop, cleaners, food service helpers, account clerks, a junior account clerk, and 2 secretary ones. Our tall hires have included assistant child care associates, special ed, pre-K, phys ed, lunch clinic, senior school monitor, and building-based associates. Orientation and training, you heard Mrs. Buckman talk about the new teacher orientation. The HRO day of that was August 17th. We welcomed all our new staff that day. This past week, we've been conducting our annual vector training, which encompasses sexual harassment, workplace violence, education law 2D, cybersecurity, and other malware, and DASA. We will have one more session on September 4th, and again, as Mr. Wooten and Mrs. Buckman noted, we've had NFT professional development that's occurred and is upcoming, and I'm sure Mr. Zimmerman will talk to you about some of the senior school monitor training that's taken place with respect to transportation. Does anybody have any additional questions for me? Thank you.
Just as we transition, that you have been hard at work, and our school building leadership has been hard at work taking a look at their respective offerings, looking at enrollment, and making sure that we are staffed appropriately. And through attrition from the end of last year, that there were a few positions that did not require us to fill, but we are well staffed now, as Ms. Sorrell highlighted.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to talk to you about the activities of the assessment team this summer. As you know, our goal is to support principals as instructional leaders. We want them to feel comfortable leveraging the assessment data to make those informed decisions within their building. So if you look at the first two blocks with the New York State assessment and the data tools, Jolene Nearhood created, under the direction of Rick Corella, a data analysis handbook, which is fantastic, and I would love to share that with you. The coaches and I spent some time in June fine-tuning some of the information and adding to it the principal's perspective from activities that I did while I was at Abbott. So when you look at New York State computer testing, and you have the fact that the data is embargoed right now, so school principals can use it to create their instructional plans and to move forward for the beginning of the school year, but we're not at the point where we're sharing it outwardly. But inwardly, they're able to do that, and I'm supporting them, the new principals that have not had access to the data view and to the test scoring sites, with that added touch to hopefully walk through so they can gain access to that material so they can make those informed decisions. When you look at the data analysis handbook, it does walk you through all of the items that are available throughout the district with the instructional coach support to help and assist as you move forward through your building. So I think it's a wonderful tool. Jolene was instrumental, and she did a beautiful job. Moving forward with data tools, Mr. Graneri already talked to you a little bit about ThinkTech. As you know, it's an electronic platform, and we're rolling it out district-wide. We have inventoried over the summer. We have multiple district tools that teachers have piloted and created, but we also have many of our interim assessments, our local created assessments, that have been stored in the common assessment library here. So teachers are going to receive that training on the 31st. We're very excited to move into the ThinkTech world. We are sunsetting eDoctrina, so we're onto the new material. With the new New York State assessment strategy, at our last meeting, we talked a little bit about performance-based learning and assessment and looking at the curriculum alignment from New York State for personal finance. And what we did is we created a PBLA, that's for short, and we created one for the grade level bands of 5 through 8, and it's housed in the FACS curriculum. And we also took a look at CFM at the high school, and it's embedded in 9th and 10th grade CFM, where there's a performance-based learning assessment. Okay, so that is going to be coming new. As you know, the state strategy for assessment is to collect from multiple sources. They want to help us to understand our students' learning, and that's where we're moving. There will be a consortium from Erie One BOCES. I do plan to attend, and if I can, bring others along so that we can share this information. Our prep school program this summer, they were very heavily embedded in performance-based learning, and I believe it was highly successful. So very excited about that. When you look at attendance, We had training for administrators, and it was about the program and how we were going to roll out the text nudges. As we've done in the past, there has been increased incremental change, which is helping to support our attendance endeavors, and very excited about that. There's new tools this year. There's also positive nudges. So if they notice that a child is on a trend for absenteeism, and there's been an intervention in place, and however, we're noticing a positive trend, there's going to be a nudge that goes to that child too. So there's some new little tweaks that they have to the program that's kind of exciting. In terms of the DDC role, Mr. Wooten and I are going to be pushing a button tomorrow for the end of the year certification. So the data support that we received from Area 1 BOCES this summer was extremely helpful. We worked with multiple people from different departments. We created a district data team that meets every Tuesday, did that wrong, the first Tuesday of the month, and is from all folks that have a hand in the data from the different departments. So very exciting. We also had a clerical training to bring together all of the secretaries. Anyone who had a hand in data reporting, we're trying to tighten it up, right, so that we get the information as appropriate and as proper and correct the first time so that we don't have to go through those other things. So that's what we're setting there in motion with a level 0 cleanup. So we're looking at demographics and enrollment and program facts and studying all of the facets that we can. So it's been very full 2 months, very exciting. Any questions? All righty, thank you. Student
Lots of
services.
great work has been done out of the assessment office, and we appreciate it. And I know the same goes with the work that's being done with Mrs. Bellardo and the Student Services Program. Just ask that quickly go through the great things that you were leading.
Yep, a lot of our work in the summer is just ensuring every student with an IEP is properly placed. You can see the updated chart, which you've probably seen from last year, with our special class and CT programs that we offer across the district. We had a number of trainings this summer to build our capacity, and we've worked with our regional partnership to identify focus areas for this upcoming school year. ENL, just over 100 students, so it's a little less daunting than placing all the special education students, but important that they are all placed and getting the number of minutes that they are entitled to by regulation to help them with their language acquisition in the English language. You can see our staffing. As Ms. Tompkins mentioned, WEDO is a new, it's replacing NYSISLOT this year to help measure the growth of our English language learners. So rolling that out with our ENL teachers will be a big focus area this year. We also had a great ENL summer camp run by Ms. Mallory Leo.
I second that. That was amazing.
It is. It's a really, really fun little event. So some other areas to touch on: dual enrollment. We are continuing to offer just a really great, impressive number that we're proud of dual enrollment courses, so Mr. Lucky and his peers at Niagara Falls High School can take advantage of that. New York State did ask for the first time for us to file forms with their dual enrollment partners, including NU, Bryan and Stratton, SUNY Niagara, Buff State, so that is going to be submitted tomorrow. We'll continue with our MTSS work, the role that Mr. Wooten has started. I will take that on. McKinney-Vento, our students who are homeless, we have about 250 of those students, so ensuring that transportation and liaisons and all the requirements that we need to do in that area, we are set and ready to go. And then finally, we did work on New York Inspires and Portrait of a Graduate over the summer with our Prep Summer program. We presented to administrators. We will present to the counselors. Looking at curriculum alignment has been touched upon. And then really this school year is about, and the summer has been about preparing to build capacity in the areas. We are really well aligned and well prepared in many areas. Some of the performance-based learning and just making sure as the state shares more information about high school graduation requirements and credits that we are staying up to date and have everything so we can complete that transition.
One thing that we are going to do in the future is that as Mrs. Zona and the team at the high school completed a homework assignment over the summer and presented to the administrative team, we may have that group come back and to present to all of you because they did just such a fantastic job. But also tied in with that are those classes, those dual enrollment classes in that college brochure. Much more to come on that. That's something that we will most certainly be sure to share not just the high school level, students, staff, families, but bring it to all levels because there are wonderful opportunities at Niagara Falls High School, and we want to make sure we get that in the hands of our learners and families as soon as possible.
Yes. Mr. Prado? That number does fluctuate frequently, yes, and we do every year. Our liaisons meet with students monthly, and then yearly we will send out a letter saying, please provide us your updated housing status, so that if families are no longer falling under the McKinney-Vento and they're in permanent housing, then they come off of that. Yes, thank you.
Hello. Good evening. Happy belated, Mr. Villardo. I just want to jump right into it. 3 areas I'm going to speak about are transportation, capital projects, and food service. You'll see a common theme, which we're really trying to clean up and create clear systems, communication, accountability, and oversight for the 3 areas that I'm overseeing. We've worked very hard in getting the routing completed. We're just about done. That information is being sent to schools, has already been sent to schools in 2 forms. They get their bus routing lists, and they also get a postcard with every student's information on that for busing. We've been looking at some new, really cutting-edge technology to create even safer environments for our transportation folks, and we're trying to push that with them. All of our exceptional learners have been routed, including our medical transport students. They're all routed. Really, transportation communication has been a personal challenge for me because I really, really want to eliminate the runaround that some of our parents get when they call schools and when they call transportation. We have been meeting weekly with our internal team. Every single week, we're going over routing, we're going over phone calls, how are we handling situations. So we expect to continue to do that. And then monthly with our transportation providers. What I developed this year was a single workflow process between transportation and building administrators so people know who to call when and for what. It sounds simple, but we needed to put something in place. Our forms are updated. Information on the MyRide app has been posted on the website. We are present at every orientation and open house. We had Abbott's the other night. It was a wonderful turnout. We were able to really iron out a lot of issues that came up with transportation that are just kind of the normal day-to-day things that do pop up. Folks change addresses, change schools, but having representation there, we were able to kind of get those things taken care of right away. We have a bunch of open houses next week. We're going to divide and conquer. Myself, Mr. Schwenkbeck, and Ms. Dixon, we have a plan to make sure we're present at every one of them. I talked about the MyRide app. We do have much better participation in that, and we're going to continue to push that. Bus driver aid and student management training. We put together a training. We're going to own some of this year. I'm myself going to meet with bus drivers and aides to talk about student management, de-escalation practices, and things that could maybe help them in the day-to-day busing. Oversight for financials obviously is super important with everything. So we're going to be looking at fuel expenses, usage, specialized program costs, and different cost-saving opportunities. Any questions on transportation? For food service, another fun area, again, creating clear systems and communication, accountability, and oversight. We developed some strategic priorities. That's to reduce our operating deficit, to increase meal participation by making the food look better and taste better. Not that it doesn't now, but we can always use some improvements. Improve our federal and state reimbursements, make sure we're keeping a close eye on that. Our point of sale system to make sure that that's accurate, that's reflected, it directly reflects the amount of money that we get reimbursed from the state. And then obviously address kitchen equipment needs. To piggyback off Ms. Buckman and Ms. Tompkins, everyone talked about our summer programs, and the many good things that were going on this summer increased our food service production over the summer, which would increase our reimbursements over the summer. So we did much, much better this summer than we did last summer. So we're already showing improvements. We created a dashboard that looks at the operations and the financial end of it. And this we meet on, again, weekly. Every single Tuesday at 2 p.m., we go over the food production and menu development for the week. We look at meal participations by school and compare them, our point of sale systems accuracy, staffing, and then obviously compliance with the training that has to be done. We're actually training tomorrow morning, all our cafeteria staff, staffing the required training and some other information that I can't wait to share with them. So financial oversight as well, looking at revenue and expenditures every single week. We're looking at our operating balance, federal and state reimbursement status, fresh fruit and vegetable plan, and USDA commodity utilizations, and our cash balances. The very last thing, you could see this is a little bit, my responsibility is a little bit more global than Mr. Macri. Mr. Macri is really the expert in what's really happening in those buildings every single day. What my responsibility is to communicate that to the buildings, the building principals, and really make sure that our building condition surveys are aligned with our 5-year capital plan. And I'm asking building principals to use a walkthrough tool that we're almost done creating so that we have up-to-date information from the principals. And a lot of times, no one's fault, but a lot of these projects don't get communicated to the school when they're happening and where they're happening. So that's one of the challenges that I will have, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And obviously looking at budget implications and long-term impact on some of our capital projects. And that's all. Any questions?
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes, sir.
did the students participate in the making of the menus and at all?
We've listened to a couple schools. We've had some fantastic presentations on some recommendations from students. I challenged Mr. Edwards to some changes that really need to be made. We have to listen to our students. Can we make 100% of those changes? Probably not, but we are instituting some new things at every level, elementary, middle, and high school. So yes, we are definitely listening to the students. Abbott did an amazing presentation with probably about 30 students. Myself and Mr. Walton were there. They had some amazing recommendations. We are for sure going to have some changes right in the beginning of the year in September. And weekly, when we look at menu development, I'm going to continue to ask what's new this week, what's new. So yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Pareto?
I brought this up a few years back, especially when I was coaching. How are we prepared with snacks or fruits and vegetables for these players? Because a lot of these kids aren't fueled to participate in the game. As I know, the picture of the football field actually brought me back. But before I was able to, get some, maybe some snack thing, mostly fruit, like oranges and bananas. These kids need to be fueled. What happens is and I was a parent too, as you know, with 3 kids, and they're just not fueling up the property. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to screw up anybody's budget or anything like that with this, but these young people need that little extra food, and be it if it is healthy, thank God it's healthy, it'd be fruit, vegetables, maybe some kind of a snack type thing they consume.
You know what, Mr. Pareto, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but
No,
what I
please
want
do
to say
interrupt.
is that
I'm fine.
Mr. Surace, I had the opportunity in working with him, we're going to talk more about him with the concussion policy later, is that this was a conversation that we had in late spring. And thinking about it, the way that we can support our students is that we have a number of funding sources, one of them being the fresh fruit and vegetable program. So when we have, you think about it, the elementary levels, they had the fruit cart that was going around. Why can't we have the fruit cart for our athletes, make sure that they're fueled and prepared?
Right out back of that school, and we just, drive that thing around and let them just go, you know what I mean? Let them, because they're not fueled.
We've already been talking about that, and part of what we did this summer to increase participation was to feed students before practices, after the club, after some of the things, the afternoon clubs wrapped up. Because when students were getting there for an afternoon athletic program, they weren't hungry, but by the time it was done, they were. So differently this year than we did last year, we took the food that they didn't eat when they came in, we shipped it out to the field house. They got to eat before they left, after they had worked out or whatever they did for their athletes. But that's a great point. We do have fresh fruits and vegetables being delivered to the schools. We also have some commodity money, so there are ways that we can fuel some of those athletes, and it's a great point. Oh, yeah.
Now, is the greenhouse under your jurisdiction?
Yeah, the one at Believe a Bond? It is not.
That's a great question. So right now, it is under the responsibility of the building. And with the school building, what they have done is they have been very intentional with the work with the greenhouse. They have partnered with Cornell Cooperative Extension. They have partnered with the Liberty Program out of SUNY Niagara. They have developed a number of wonderful partnerships. Council Chair, Mr. Archie, has a program that we have partnered with the city. It is a refrigerator program. Please excuse me, I'm forgetting the title. But what we're doing is the concept of the greenhouse is that community-based greenhouse. That's what I've talked about there. There is a team that has created a curriculum that not only for the staff and students at Believe a Bond to utilize, but they have created a schedule that is dedicated for other schools, for Cataract Elementary School, to come on over and utilize that space as well. Yep.
One last question. What is fueling that operating deficit for food? I caught that up. There's a reduced operating deficit. What is?
Well, two different things. The fueling was for transportation.
No. I'm saying what's causing the operating deficit in the food? I caught reduced deficit.
So we don't get enough kids to participate. We don't get enough kids to get up there and get lunches. We don't utilize all of our commodities. Right. And the more students we can get to go through that line and take lunches, the more money we get back reimbursed.
God, I didn't know if it's something we're not budgeting enough at that for food service, because it says reduce operating deficit. I was wondering what would cause an operating deficit for food service.
Well, I think it's a combination of things, right? You look at staffing. Are we overstaffed? Are we understaffed? You know, could we put someone over here and maybe not need them over there? With the increased staffing needs for the point of sales program itself, that did raise things a little bit. However, we understand the process a little bit better now. We're going to start looking at how we're operating to see where we could possibly save some money.
So this is a new occurrence, or is this something that regularly happens with?
I think I think it probably over the last couple of years has increased a little bit, but part of that is due to the technology that we use now also. So, but we're figuring out ways to try to eliminate some of those costs, or at least reduce them. Yes, sir.
Two questions.
Yep.
To follow up on Jason's question. Super interesting to hear why we have a funding issue. What is the reason we don't get more children to participate? Is there something that we could survey? Is it because, parents aren't aware, or kids don't prefer the choices that they have for food? What are some of the reasons, if you know?
I'd say all of that. I think preparing better food, making it look better, more choices, which we are going to have more choices this year. Every single person that works in the cafeteria highly encouraging kids to go up and get food is a huge one for me. If a student brings a peanut butter and jelly sandwich from home and they're serving pizza rolls, you can go get pizza rolls too. Kids don't know that.
Yeah.
So that's some of the communication that I'm in charge of. Hey, principals, because as a building principal, I walk through the cafeteria, I pay attention here and there and just kind of help manage. But I've charged the principals this year, when you're going through the cafeteria, here's some things I want to look for. If there's a lunch person telling a kid they can't get a lunch because they've already brought one, that's the wrong message. They absolutely can. So I think it's a combination of things that's being looked at. So all the above.
And we're actively working on trying to find solutions to make people more aware.
Absolutely.
The second question, and I think I actually brought this up 2 years ago, but something I would love for us to have more conversations about is getting back to, and let me just preface this with, every single program that we had is important, but just to piggyback on his question about athletes.
Yep.
The conversation about potentially a nutritionist and not just having fruits and vegetables, but also, making sure that we're providing kids with enough protein and the right nutritional things and off-season programs
Educating them.
or in-season programs. But, obviously, we're a district where, we have to be very focused on the money that we're spending. But if there's opportunities out there that we can get funding to have some sort of nutritionalist for our athletes, I think that's always a win.
I love that idea. I've personally witnessed some of our wrestlers cut weight, and the first thing they put in their bodies after they cut weight was 3 bags of Takis and pop and soda. And I'm not kidding. I mean, some of our students will eat Doritos for breakfast and potato chips, and you're 100% right. I think that's something that we need to explore, but it's super, super important as to how they perform, as to what they're putting in their bodies. So I'm with you on that.
It's also safety too, right? I mean, you're an athletic person, and if we're helping them put good things in their bodies. Actually, yeah, hold on. Wait, you're injured. I shouldn't use you as an example. No, I'm just kidding. And we hope you're getting better, by the way. But yeah, if we help them put better things in their bodies, they're going to be stronger in the sports, have potentially less injuries. And then the food program in general, if a kid comes to school and all they have is a bag of Takis and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, we might be able to give them better fuel to have a better school day, from a focus perspective too.
Absolutely. Yeah. All good? All right. Yes, sir.
Last year or a year before, we talked to Mr. Laurie, and by the end of the school day in the high school, near 7th period lunch, there was no lunch for students at all. So what's being done this year to help counteract
Say that again, 7th period.
7th period lunch, the last lunch period of the day, there was barely any food for most
Okay, good point. I didn't know that. That's news to me. But I appreciate you sharing that. It gives me something to keep an eye on.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Mr. Lucky, welcome. What we're going to do is that we'll go to the communication plan that I would like to share with all of you, with our public, with our staff, as well as our board. We'll then go through our agenda before the 7 o'clock meeting. There will be a need for an executive session following our 7 p.m. meeting. And I want to share that publicly so that folks are aware that we do have a need for the executive session. And when the time comes, I will share the permissible reasons for that executive session. But as I've had the opportunity to listen and to learn from our staff, our students, our community, our teammates, administrators, and think about my experiences in all the above, as a teacher, most recently an administrator, thinking about the strategic vision, thinking about where we're going as a district, more to come on that in the future. But I also sat back and just thought about and reflected upon what great things we already have in place within our district. What wonderful programs take place. At Niagara Falls High School, there is a college brochure. There is a college brochure of classes and offerings that our students can take. There will be a time where we will have the opportunity to witness that. And I'll ask the team, and of course, Mr. Lucky, to comment about our brochure and our offerings, which are just top-notch. That, which we will learn about more of the portrait of a graduate, is where other school districts are aspiring to achieve. So now that's been established, and so the task that I've taken on is thinking about Mr. Zona in our conversation and parents that go into Niagara Falls High School in 9th grade. Why am I just learning about this now? And I agree. And I 100% agree. Not just from our conversation, then our team had the opportunity to, Mrs. Blardo talked about our NFCSD team, which primarily consists of our counselors and social workers. I asked them, can you elaborate upon our pathways at Niagara Falls High School? Of course, they can share some baseline information and the important facts, but it was evident that the team needed to learn more. So it sparked me to think about it a little bit more and think about what we have and what we need to ultimately communicate. So what I did is that I sat back and I reflected upon, and we joke around when I had the opportunity to take this position, two questions people ask. One, are you calling snow days? And two, are you still calling me at 5 o'clock? And so I take that, though, the 5 o'clock piece, as a compliment, because Mr. Laurie truly did a fantastic job, along with the building principals, of communicating. There's weekly news and notes. There is interviews in the media. There's so many different outlets that take place. So I had to think back and really dig deep and think about, how can I improve upon this? I didn't want to just have my subjective information and just say, oh, this is what Stan Wotan thinks. Yeah, of course, I think it's important. But I also wanted to take a look at some concrete information and really take a deep dive into what we are sharing. So what I had the opportunity to do, and what is in front of you this evening, is a little communication frequency that I was able to pull up from the Hanover research. It is truly a 20-page document that researches communication strategies for districts and schools. It goes into internal communications, it goes into external communication, it goes into topics, it goes to frequency, and so much more. So what I did is I took this graph and I wanted to share with all of you, just to let you know that these are the avenues and the lens in which we're thinking about our communication. So as you see here in the chart that you have in front of you, these are the communication topics, and by the respective groups, parents, teachers, and school leaders, this is what they wish and how they wish to receive this information, the frequency in which they want to receive this information. So just for, I don't need to read this to all of you, line by line, but just sharing some things. For example, college and career preparation resources and information. Parents would like to have that information monthly and quarterly. Reflecting upon what I just talked about and what we are sharing, that's an area where we can improve, and we will improve upon. Teachers, you can see it every 6 weeks. School leaders, 2 weeks. So you have the idea and the gist and the manner in which our frequency and communication, and it was oh so important. Working through there, you can see the other items with curriculum, disciplinary actions, behaviors, so on and so forth. And scrolling down, Mr. Granary, you can see some of the, scroll up, I'm sorry, just to the right there, the bottom there, you can see some of these oh so important items that are the common topics that come up. So things such as the classroom, what happens within the classroom, school events, homework. I will say that these are some of the areas when you think about how we have grown and how we as a district have adopted social media within the respective schools. I think we do a pretty darn good job of sharing this information in these celebrations. So again, you think about how can we improve upon that? And one of the items that we talked about and we need to grow with is we have 11 schools and there's 11 celebrations that are going out there. How can we bring that to one place and one landing spot in the Niagara Falls City School District Facebook page? Something just as simple as tagging the school district. Now all of a sudden it's all in one landing spot. And a parent from 79th can see the great things happening at Maple Avenue, or a parent at 79th can see the great things that is happening at LaSalle Prep, where their child will be going in just a couple of years. So again, taking a look at this information, reflecting upon the timeline and the manner in which we needed to share this important information. Mr. Granary, if you can scroll to the second page here, these are some items these are the items on the very top. There's 4 quadrants here with the district information sharing. Again, I don't need to read them to all of you. I don't need to read all of them to you, excuse me. but you can see the many modes of communication that we use. Obviously, we're sharing information here multiple times a month. The auto dialers, there was one earlier today. There's information in print that goes out in the Gazette. There's newsletters that go out in print on a quarterly basis. Our calendar, which will be mailed home tomorrow, is going to be home in the household for our families. There is also a digital copy of our calendar currently on the website. So thinking about and listening to the community and listening to all the stakeholders in our district, I think we have in this solely here is from a district level, those examples that I talked about. We have a Wolverine podcast that has gone out. I named it and labeled it the Wolverine podcast on OSC. I think there's 3 episodes that have been released. But with the Wolverine podcast, what I want to do is I want to have Mr. Lucky and a group of students. That's Stan Wotan that named that podcast the Wolverine podcast. I like it, but I'm going to ask for some help from Mr. Lucky to help rename and brand that podcast. So we get it in the hands of our students. We get in the hands of more informed members of our community as we get that information out there about the district. So, Mr. Granary, if you don't mind scrolling up to the top, that's from the district level. Now, on top of the district level, you can see the list of things that are happening at the building level. I'm sorry, Mr. Granary, scroll up just a little bit more. So you can see at the building level, you can see that there's the monthly newsletter, again, print form. There's what's most important. We talked about Parent Square, we talked about Dojo. It is great. It is absolutely great, and it's an effective mode of communication. Nothing replaces the relationship and the conversation between a parent, guardian, and a teacher. Parent-teacher conferences the importance of those cannot be understated. The importance of attending open house where we have that information out there. Abbott did an amazing job kicking things off on Tuesday. Niagara Falls High School, 9th grade orientation last night, building those relationships. Another way to communicate. But so again, I'm talking about passionately these great things that are already happening. How do we improve it? Scroll on down just a little bit more. So we talked about some things. There are additional points that have happened, but that's some things that will continue to happen and some things that we think about. I talked about already what's happened and that has evolved into our Wolverine podcast. And I'm sorry, I'm at the top one, YouTube videos. I want to point that one out there because the YouTube videos in a previous discussion, we've talked about those quick snapshot videos. This week, there'll be a series of intentional 30-second videos that will be out there that will get to the point. Mr. Zimmerman has talked about transportation. There's going to be a 30-second video that highlights the important pieces of transportation. Our cell phone policy, partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, and safety of arrival and dismissal for everyone that comes in that short time frame. The 10 minutes before, after school, making sure we follow those traffic signals and follow the traffic laws. Those are some things that have started to happen. But special ed meetings, we also have our family and community engagement team. This has been something I've been lucky to be involved with our liaisons, because it's not just about me, about us, it's about the collective district and sharing the good things that are happening. So there's a team that has been established with the FSEP liaisons that are out there. There is a liaison by school being the point person and sharing the great things happening by school, embedded in with the community. That person's living it at GJ Mann. That person's living it over at Kelfis. They can speak to it in greater detail. This summer, we started right away. We've done it in the past. We've already participated in 5 events. Most recently, at Carrie Buckman Day at the Pre-K Jamboree, our team was there. But we have the team that is out there sharing the good message that is happening. We talked about we have some partners that are listed, parent workshops that are happening, tying them into the Say Yes Saturday Academy and other monthly celebrations. So on the right-hand side, I've talked about this a little bit, tagging in with our school as a Facebook account. Also looking at Parent Portal, we talk about it so much. It's another mode of communication that you can get grades, attendance, behavior immediately. Are you signed up for that? Thinking about our diversity, equity, inclusion, are we thinking of all of our families? Are we thinking about all of our students in the way in which we can share this information? And I've tried to articulate that throughout the course of the conversation. We also, again, with some of the items, I gave a few examples about school safety and other pieces, but I highlight this and I open up our school year, not just with the great things that have taken place over the summer, but the way in which we are going to communicate the great things to come. Thinking about the strategic vision, thinking about the plan moving forward, thinking about Niagara Falls High School and the wonderful things that will be happening and are happening with the Portrait of a Graduate. But we're also going to have at board meetings, at our review board meetings, we're going to invite schools to come in to communicate and share the great things that are happening at their respective schools. So again, we were in a very good position, through reflection, through looking at best practice, we are going to be in an even better position. There is always room for improvement, but I'll say with you, I feel very comfortable and confident of where we're at in communicating our wonderful district going forward. Mr. Pareto.
This is on the information plan. I'm going to just piggyback this question. I know as being a parent of 3 kids in this district, and there's a lot of parents that may be listening to us now or thinking about this here at the table or is there any way we can improve our information to get out to parents if a certain student is either chronic absenteeism, like I'm talking right out of the chute here, as we're days away from starting school, and before that child gets too far behind, you know what I mean? Is there a better way that we can improve the information to the parent or guardian to help them, to keep them from falling into a hole, and then that hole getting too big and they can't get out?
That is an excellent question. And I was tasked the responsibility is, as a principal on special assignment, is working intentionally with our attendants. And through the work in partnership with Niagara Wheatfield, through recommendation with Mr. Corella, work with Mr. Graneri, we adopted a program that is called Everyday Labs. Ms. Tompkins, she briefly spoke about this program, and she is going to be the point person that is going to be joining us. Ms. Tompkins, if you want to step up or if I have any questions, I'll share my overview, but I want to ask if you chime in if there's anything that I miss. Everyday Labs is a fantastic tool because it does exactly what you just talked about, is that it is a program that utilizes the text message system. It provides letters home to our students, and it does so in a trauma-informed, non-punitive way. It's something that is, hey, I didn't say hi to Susie Macri, so I'm going to say hi to Susie Macri because I'm picking on her son right now. But hi, Mr. and Mrs. Macri. Your son, Mr. Macri, has missed 5 days of school. How can we help? Not that your son has missed 5 days of school. Get there. Because what are the families going to do? I'm not. Okay.
Denial, withdrawal.
So we have that piece that goes into it where what happens is they get the weekly nudges, bi-weekly nudges. Yep. They get monthly letters that go home, but that also complements the counselors and social workers and the work that they're doing, that school-based teams are tracking, they are nudging. We have folks that are doing home visits. We have truancy officers doing things. So to your question there about that with the communication for families, we're in a good spot. Now, Ms. Tompkins, this summer, that was up until July 1st, 2026. Ms. Tompkins has stepped up, and I know that there's some updates.
There are. So thank you very much. I'm so glad that you asked this because I didn't get a chance to segue to the SEPs and the core structures. Every school, based on the way the SEPs had to be written, had to write directly to the core structure. It's the way they do business for attendance. And the question that they posed in everyone's SEP is, how will the school ensure that every student is present, supported, and connected so they can fully participate in a rigorous instructional program? So every school had to write to that core structure, which is excellent. And then we had the training for the administrators to reintroduce the program, share with them the new facets. But some of the points that Mr. Wotton was working through with this electronic platform is that it's early and it's clustered intervention. It's very resource intensive so that the counselors and the social workers and the teachers can work through this information. And just some highlights. 28% of students in an intervention group ended the year not being chronically absent. For the Niagara Falls City School District attendance, there's been improvement over the years, an average daily improvement. We went from 84.4% to 87%, so it's slow and incremental, but it's happening. And in terms of chronic absenteeism, it's the reverse. We were at 50.5, we are now at 44.2, so it's a 6.3 decrease. So it is showing that the nudges are consistent, the work in the buildings with the counselors and the START teams is supporting this work. So, excellent question, thank you.
Can I just add to that?
Absolutely.
So another answer to your question is, if I framed it a different way, what are the things that we're doing already?
Sure.
There's accountability on the parents too, because I get a phone call every day. I know if, and I can only speak for middle school and for Niagara Falls High School, but I get a phone call, and so does my wife, if my child was tardy or if they were absent for the day. So I know immediately that day, that afternoon, if one of my kids was late. I mean, for many reasons, God forbid, Brooklyn drove to school. Sure. And got in a car accident. I didn't know about it, but maybe I found out because the school called me, right? So we're providing parents with real-time information if their children were late or missed the whole day. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
We're still doing that?
Yes.
Is that elementary level as well?
Oh, yes, yeah, absolutely.
Plus the academics, they're just not getting it. You're going to school, and they still have a very good language. So, it's, I think we just need to make sure that we don't have so many children, what they quote unquote falling through the cracks. That's used in a lot of this. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Absolutely, is excellent questions. I plan on referencing the communication plan often. You will see this publicly in newsletter. You'll see this information out there so folks can see. Maybe folks don't know if they're where they can find more information, and hopefully this helps them.
This plan's on our what?
It is not yet. I was waiting for after our meeting. I was waiting for after our meeting to put it out there as well as having it on in our upcoming newsletter. Absolutely. Yep.
I will say that in my experience,
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
we really do, because I don't, as I said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I think that we offer many opportunities for students to take place. And yes, our
And I think through the multiple means here, I think that gives us the opportunity to say, hey, here are the outlets that we have. Please take advantage. If there's something else that you need or you would like, let us know, but here's what we have. Take advantage. But I think it's a great start to your communication, much more to come. And what I would like to do is, for the viewing audience and for folks watching at home, is that quickly we'll go through the agenda here. But I say quickly because our board members have received their packets. They've had the opportunity to review the information. I'll go through, I'll highlight a couple of items, and board members, of course, please stop me if we have any questions. And as we see, we're going to open things up at 7 o'clock with Mr. Lucky. We're going to swear him in. We have our approval of our financial reports that from our previous months. We will have our personnel report, and I'm going to ask Ms. Massaro, there you are. Ms. Massaro, if you'd like to share anything now with our personnel report, or we can wait till 7 o'clock.
It's up to you. Do you want me to go through it now?
Yeah.
Okay. This is all about you, starting with the certificated report.
You gotta get it up.
It's all right, we have abolishments and creations on our first 2 pages. Then we have some retirements. Some of these are previous retirements, some of these are future retirements. By August 1 of the year before retirement, those teachers who wish to avail themselves of lifetime medical have to let us know that they'll be retiring at the end of the year. So that's why you see some of these retirements that are a year out. We had several resignations, and then we begin our appointments. These are the appointments that I was telling you about when we went through my slides before. We have our probationary appointments, and just for your knowledge, probably in September or October, Mr. Walton will be coming forward with some additional probationary appointments based upon a balancing of our staff and seeing where our actual vacancies are. Regular substitute appointments, these are the folks who I mentioned before, are contracted for 1 year, who are either in for a teacher on special assignment or someone on a long-term leave or are a teaching assistant under a special program. Next up, you see our involuntary transfers, some voluntary transfers. This is where we move some folks around. And then finally, on the certificated report, we get to the per diem summer work and the schedule work. Does anybody have any questions about the certificated report? Okay, moving on to the classified report. In the classified report, you're going to see some of the same things. We have some retirements of some of our longtime associates. We also have provisional appointments, probationary appointments, as I mentioned to you, temporary appointments, and change of status. Again, any questions about the classified report? Okay. You have an addendum tonight. The addendum is for an appointment of a person under the grant. That addendum does not have to be called in separately because it's part of the personnel report. It's an appointment of a cultural specialist because we had the retirement of the cultural specialist, Ms. Captain. Any questions? I'm sorry? This is a position who provides support and special education and special cultural responsive education for our Native American students.
That another new, is that another new course that's been certified, certificate?
Oh, it's not a course, we've had this for years.
Just a person?
Yeah, this is under a grant that we have, and we've had this position for years. If you remember, we had Ms. Hill, Ms. Noreen Hill, she passed away, and then after her, Ms. Captain took over for her, and Ms. Captain retired, so now we have the new person taking over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And going to our short-term contracts that we have is that we do have 10 short-term contracts. Is that we do have with our ready tools. The first one is for our teachers that is paid through the general fund. The second is for our administrators that is paid through our grant. As Mrs. Buckman mentioned earlier about high-quality Tier 1 instruction, you will see in contracts 3 and 4 the emphasis of high-quality Tier 1 instruction. And again, this is to support our DSEP for the upcoming school year. Number 5 is Mr. Dobbs. He has been a valuable partner to the district for a number of years. He's supporting with the Big Picture program, mentoring, and more. Contract number 6, Mr. Philosophist. He provides a licensing for us. He works for the city of Niagara Falls, and he certified 2 of our staff members. The next 2, number 7 and number 8, were for the ENL camp. As we talked about earlier with Mrs. Villardo, the ENL camp was a fantastic program this summer, and you can see the items that were taking place for a reception, as well as folks from the Buffalo Museum of Science. Short-term contract number 9 and number 10, they are for our folks over at Head Start. We have our teaching strategies that is noted. You can see that that information is paid through from our grant, the F code. That is paid through for the teaching strategy and instructional support for our friends at Head Start and Early Head Start. And we also have number 10, we have our first aid program that is part of our Head Start and Early Head Start program. Excellent short-term contracts moving our district forward. We have for our resolutions here, just going quickly, I know that for Lindenville, that this is for one of our exceptional learners, and for this exceptional learner is that it is at a cost of approximately $36,000. That cost is generated by the state. That is the state cost that dictates. They dictate how much we charge. For transportation for the student is that the student is provided transportation. There are 8 students that are on that bus. It costs approximately $80,000 total for the year for students that go to Lindenville along with BOCES. You add that on top of that, so it's about $10,000 in an additional cost. There is no nurse for that student on the bus as well. And again, this is for one of our exceptional learners, that this exceptional learner did participate with the Lindenville Central School District last year as well. 602 is for ECMC. This is a new resolution, but it is a resolution that we have wished to participate in for the last couple of years. We in the district often provide medical home teaching or home teaching for our students. This is ultimately contracting through Buffalo Public Schools because Buffalo Public Schools works with our friends at ECMC. They would support us in the event of emergency, which of course, we hope that none of our students are ever hospitalized, but in the event that they are, we do have this resolution that is in place. I do want to point out 603, which at Niagara Wheatfield, that at your desk, when you pulled up at your chair, when you pulled up, I'm thinking start of school desk, at your chair, you had in front of you with Niagara Wheatfield is a cross contract with Niagara Wheatfield for one of our exceptional learners. The reason why I pause and want to pay close attention to that, because what you received in your resolution and what is included with the rates, information, and more is what we are asking for approval. However, through our business offices from Niagara Wheatfield, as well as here in Niagara Falls, we are just waiting for one item. We're asking for you to approve the resolution. Nothing will change. Once we receive that, Mr. Pareto would ultimately sign that information, and then we can move forward. The details wouldn't change. Mr. Booker is a great partner through the P-Tech program. He would be doing our college planning. 605, Dr. Nina Gottlieb. This is through the Extended School Day grant. She provides the evaluation services which are required by the grant. We have 606, which is SF support. This is to support multiple schools based upon our ATSI or TSI status. 607, that is Miss Carolyn Tinsley, who has been instrumental in providing additional support to our teachers as well as our administrators. This is again through our SF program, and it is federally funded. 608, in a similar context to meet SF requirements, and as Gaskell has the CSI status. Administratively, it requires some additional support. That's what resolution 608 would be listed for. We have 609. This is for exceptional learners in a curriculum that are working in partnership with our teachers union, working in partnership with NFT. We piloted a number of programs. This was a program that, along working with Mrs. Buckman and her team, that ultimately we landed upon. 610, Dr. Ashanti Haynes. This is for our culturally responsive teaching. When thinking about Portrait of a Graduate, at the center of that diagram is culturally responsive information. This is something that she will be there to help and support us with. She will be starting at Gaskell Prep as well as LaSalle Prep. 611, we have our on-site physical therapy for Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center, which is our fee-based program. And 612, we're bringing it to you because we brought to you a planned service agreement from Johnson Controls. Through the planned service agreement and work that they have done, unfortunately, the control motherboard, I'll steal that term, that we had some issues. The team took a deep dive, reached out throughout the country, found these pieces. They are going to come up as I ask, hopefully for approval. They will then provide that service and we'll have our air conditioning back up and running. With our policy that I'm sharing with you, I'm asking that we forego the 30-day tabling. I'm asking you to adopt the concussion policy tonight. It is something that through procedures with Dr. Savagio as well as Victoria Duncan, our nurse practitioner, we just tweaked some language and best practice. You can see our dates that are listed for upcoming events and certainly provide a report at the end of our voting meeting.
All right, folks, it's a couple minutes after 7. I want to rise for the flag. We'll start at 7 o'clock. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, great. I didn't know this, but I'm unprepared. But I will say, wish every sister very safe, happy, prosperous year. Important. All of us should support us. Every child. That.
Okay. All right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bass is excused. Mr. Bilson?
Here.
Mr. Consemi?
Here.
Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Lucky? Mr. Petrosi? Mr. Velardo? Mr. Arizona? Mr. Pareto? Thank you.
Okay, we're going to the 204. After roll call, we're going to swear in. Judy?
I'm going to ask you to join me over here, please. I'm going to ask you, you've got a camera, thank you. Okay. This is a photo op, so we're going to make sure we get your picture for the newsletter and things. I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kulraj Lucky,
I, Kulraj Lucky,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of ex officio board member
the duties of ex officio board member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, and please sign my book.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Pareto.
Okay. All right. Okay, letters and communications, 301, oral communications. We have none, right, Judy? We have no oral communications at this point?
That is correct, Mr. Pareto.
Okay, we will go over to 302, written communications. We did you've received a letter from our NISBA representative who joined us in July, and we also have a letter of thanks, which is right here, from Mary Beth Pacone. I'd like to pass that around to everybody in memory of her mom at the last meeting. Okay, we're going to move on to, we're going to take 401 and 402. 401 being the minutes from July 2nd, and 402, the approval of the budget transfers. Can I have a motion?
Second.
Semi? Mr. Bills? Under question? Judy?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, 403, bids, we have none. 404 and 405 we'll take together. They are the treasurer's report and the budget status report we have received and filed. Right on to 406, the personnel report certificated. Do I have a motion? Mr. Velardo? Okay. Ms. Grandinetti? Under question. Judy, please.
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi? Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Petrosi? Mr. Velardo? Mr. Zona? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Thank you.
407, personnel report classified. Do I have a motion? Mr. Zona, Mr. Kansemi, second. Under question. No? Judy, please.
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi? Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Petrosi? Mr. Velardo? Mr. Zona? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we're going to go move to 408 and 409. We're taken together. Report from the Committee on Special Education and a report from the Committee on Preschool Special Education. Do I have a motion? Mr. Kansemi. Mr. Petrosi. Under question? Judy?
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi? Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Petrosi? Mr. Velardo? Mr. Zona? Mr. Pareto?
Yes. Okay, 410, short-term contracts. I'll try to go through them here quickly. We have a contract with iReady Math Instruction, contract with iReady Tools for Administrators. We have a contract with Tier 1 Instruction at secondary level. We have a contract, Tier 1 Instruction for administrators. We have Transformation through Revitalization contract. We have a, we have a contract for teaching the boiler license class. Number 7, New Punjabi Halal. Number 8, Buffalo Museum of Science. Number 9, Teaching Strategies, LLC. Number 10, Eye Safety First. Do I have a motion? Mr. Kinsemi. This is done. Under question. You good? You got a question? All right. Fire away.
Turn your mic on, Jim.
What?
Thank you. Tonight we're going to be working about $288,000 for the next packet. And my concern is that we're paying a lot of money for a lot of programs that I don't know how we can measure them. I don't know how we're going to get results from it. I question that. I'm not saying we don't need them, but I guess I'm misunderstanding what, we have coaches out in the field now, we have backup for our kids, and now we're spending another $200,000 on 4 people. And if you look at the cost of this, and I just broke it down a little bit. You got 4 days, $15,000. 4 days, 15 grand. Another one is 9 hours, $10,000. Another one, I mean, it goes on and on, $51,000. It's a lot of money, guys. We're spending a ton. And I mean, I'm not gonna tell you we don't need them, but I'm just telling you, I hope I can see some real good results on these programs that are being submitted. And if I don't see some improvement in our students after some of these, I'm gonna just come back to the table and say, I told you. I just don't see where they're working with enough people for this kind of money. And who's monitoring them? It says you are, Mr. Wooten. You're gonna have time to go monitor these too? And the boys club too? And monitor all these ones? It says you. I mean, I don't think that's correct. You have 4 great administrators. 4. And that's another $1 million. But I think you have to designate some of that to them to see if we're getting our money's worth. But the way they're written, there is no justification of if they're doing a good job. And that's it for me. But
I think it.
I'm
sorry, excuse me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's an excellent question that you asked. Excellent. And what I want to share is that with a number of our items that we propose to all of you this evening, there's a few of them that are required through grants that we have to, and there's a good chunk of change with them that we do have to, through ESSA requirements, through our accountability status, that we're going to improve, and we have some of those contracts in place that we present in front of you to do so, to do such. We have additionally with our contracts and with our SIG-A contracts, to your point specifically this year, that with some of the short-term contracts, that there are measurables that we can measure the effectiveness of these partners and of these vendors, that they have data points that they're able to share with us to monitor their growth. Now, certainly, along with our partners and our vendors, that along with our teachers, our coaches, our staff that do an excellent job, collectively, through work of the assessment, through the curriculum office, building out those plans for improvement. Talk about those specific areas, but there's items that are in here as well that will also tie into some social emotional needs and making sure that kids are in the best position to learn before they get even into that classroom. But to your point, that yes, there are data points and there are measurables that we will continue to monitor. And through the resolutions, the information that is shared there, where is my name that is on there, it's me as a superintendent that has the oversight, because I couldn't agree with you more. I have an absolutely fantastic team with those 4 assistant superintendents, amongst other cabinet members, that will see those programs through. But ultimately, it's my name that is on the resolution that is presenting it forward, because there is no way that for me to do all the things that I just talked about, it can't fall on one person. It's not possible to do it right. That's why I'm very lucky and fortunate to have the team that we have. So your question, the dollar amount, the oversight, I couldn't agree more. And it's something that we absolutely are paying very close attention to. Yeah.
I think Rob asked this question last year or the year before. In my opinion, I think from what I know, because one of the short-term contracts that we had, I asked the person, to share with me the results of his contract. And he said, I submitted to Mr. Laurie. So from what I can see, because I would think these short-term contracts have to report back to us. But in my opinion, the confusion might be because we don't see the results that you guys get. So I think maybe if the board starts seeing the results of these contracts, that might answer his question and make us feel better.
Point well received. I don't have a best practice or a specific answer for that now. What I will say is that it's something that I'll bring back, obviously, with our team to think about in the appropriate manner in which we bring it out. I know that, like, when our schools come to present, making some connections with the contract, work that they do, that's one thing that comes to mind, but I'll think about some other items as well.
Okay, anybody else have any questions or any comments on this?
I would just, yeah, I just have one comment. I'm not really quite understanding exactly what your question was, Mr. Consemi, and I would just ask that if you, I feel like your question was jumbled with a bunch of different things. I wasn't quite sure if you were talking specifically about short-term contracts, which obviously don't add up to your number that you provided, or additional resolutions, or, coaching positions. I would just say, for clarity, maybe just walk through that, next time, not like right before we're about to vote. Because I just didn't quite pick up on exactly what you were talking about.
Then go through them individually.
And if I share, because I do know what I tried to do in my response, because I think that there were some touches upon with short-term contracts, there were some questions about resolutions, and also tying it in with some of our existing staff members, is that trying to make sure that touched upon each of those, and I tried to in my answer articulate that as best as I can, because I do initially I had to think about on how to tie that together, but I truly believe that with the short-term contracts that we have in front of us, some of the outcomes that we have that are noted within the SIG-A portion, with our resolution in broader, which are typically longer contracts, thinking about the manner in which we share out that information, I know that it is a point that is all around is well received, but I just got to digest a little bit more and how to bring that back to you.
Following Mr. Consemi's statement of $280,000, I just did a quick mapping. This is under $40,000 for grants.
That's not all.
And I'm going by this list
I'm
right
just
here.
adding another one.
Well, you're adding something else in. We're talking about short-term
I'm
contracts.
talking about that. These are what are in front of you. These are all of the
Right
ones
here.
from
Right here.
605 to 701.
I think Mr. Velardo's point, I think, so when Mr. Velardo, into Mr. Bilson's point, that thinking about item
And half of them are for
4.1 through 4.10, I don't have that dollar amount, Mr. Velardo, you said it was approximately $40,000? $40,000 that is there, so if we bucket that item that is there in through the $40,000, that we have some A codes, and a reminder with our A codes is our general fund that we're pulled from, and our F codes is grant money that will pay for it. So I just by looking in between here, it's probably 75% through our grant funding, and again, goes to Mr. Bilson's point, Mr. Velardo's point, and I know that what you're sharing, Mr. Consemi, and then the larger amounts that we have is that what we haven't had a chance to go through and vote upon yet, that is where the additional funding and the cost come from.
This is just, right now, we should be concerned with the question 4.1.
I think, if I could just add one more comment. This is just my personal preference. Every board member, at least in the 6 years that I've been on the board, have always asked amazing questions. And Jimmy, you've been on this board for a very, very long time. I just always found the best path to being able to properly vote on these items, this is for me personally, is having conversations with the superintendent. First of all, when you get your packet, when I get my packet, I read through my packet. If I have questions, I ask the superintendent prior to the meeting. And then if I don't get an answer that I feel allows me to vote properly, then I'll ask the question at the meeting. I would just recommend, I think it's very important that if I asked a question at the meeting, I'd give details, because I don't want to just throw out a number of, there's this overall number that I'm concerned about, and then we have another board member have a great commentary on it, and then another board member have great commentary on it, and then the superintendent. I think it just creates confusion potentially. So I would just, I would just always make sure that we're a little very clear on what we're asking, not just an overarching statement.
Let me just repeat myself here, so we don't get too far off. Okay, is there any other questions on the topic of short-term contracts, 4.10?
I just would like to make
Please.
one comment. I just would like to say, Mr. Kansemi, sometimes when it comes to a grant situation, you have very little leeway onto what you can and cannot do with that money. So I think a lot of this stuff is paid for by grants, and it probably looks like more expenditures are taking place than really are, but we don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to how we spend grant money. So I think you'll see it'll all work out.
Thank you. I'm pretty well aware of that. We've done that in the past, but I appreciate you saying that.
Okay. All right, can we proceed with this?
I believe we already had a first and second.
We already did. That was under question, so are we all right to, can we proceed with 4.10 short-term contracts?
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
No.
Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Petrosi?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Mr. Zona? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on to 4.11. Head Start and Early Head Start reports. Mr. Petrosi.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pareto, there are no Head Start reports this month.
Oh, there are none.
Skip on down to 6.
Oh, okay, I saw it highlighted.
I take it back.
Okay, I
Stricken.
rescind. Okay. We're coming off the rails. It must be my fault here. Okay. Unfinished business, we have none. Okay, new business, we're gonna take 601 through 603, and their contracts with other districts. 601 is the agreement with the Lindenville Central School. 602 is the agreement with the Buffalo Public Schools, and it's something with was that ECMC, I believe? And 603 is the approval of the agreement with the Niagara Wheatfield Central School District. Do I have a motion? Trozy, second. Mrs. Grandinetti. Under question. Judy, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Petrosi?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Mr. Zona? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna take 604 through 611, various contracts. We have a contract with Booker College Planning, that was 604. 605 is the NMG evaluation for independent grad evaluation. 606 is the Engage Learning LLC, contract with them, services. 607 is the services with the CM Learning Group. 608 is a contract with J. Lutterbein Consulting. 609 is the contract with Teach Town, on-site classroom coaching. 610 is the A.T. Hayes Consulting for teacher staff, professional learning. 611 is the agreement with Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center. And 612, we have a contract between our district and Johnson Control Solutions for repairs to the chiller at Bellaniva Bond. Do I get a motion? Mr. Velardo, second. Mr. Petrosi, I'll get you next, sir. All right. Under question. Judy, please call the roll.
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
No.
Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Mr. Petrosi?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Yes. Mr. Zona? Yes. Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the, this is going to be, I would like to get a motion to waive the tabling on the 30-day table for the concussion policy.
Move it.
Mr. Kinsemi, Mr. Velardo, second. Under question. Judy?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tabling waived.
Okay. Now I'd like to get a motion to adopt the concussion policy as written. Mr. Zona, Ms. Grandinetti. Under question. Judy?
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunn? Ms. Grandinetti? Yes. Mr. Petrosi?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Yes. Mr. Zona? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely yes. Okay, let's see here. What do we got here? Oral communications, non-agenda items, we have none. Information reports, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Pareto. And while we shared earlier the highlights and the great work that has happened to open schools, I just really want to reinforce that we are ready for September 2nd. Athletics, we are off to a great start. We kick off the sports season next Thursday night, the Western New York High School football season at Niagara Wheatfield. We are the first game of the Western New York season. So it should be, to my understanding is, I'll get that information out to everyone. Our arbiter system, sports system, physical process has been great. A reminder, immunizations for any students that are in need of an immunization. Just to note that on August 10th, there was a federal mandate that was put out there that does not apply to New York State. New York State did not adopt that information. There has been no change to our immunization policy. Working alongside our friends at NFT, we reviewed our cell phone policy and enforcement. Credit to the team at Niagara Falls High School and their work and the teammates that sat at the table. We again review the implementation and enforcement. The major change that we have is that at Niagara Falls High School, as the policy was written, is that the cell phone device is not on the person, that it is not in their pocket, that it is not hanging out there. That was not in the intent of the policy. We worked with our folks that upon arrival at the school, whether it is in a yonder pouch, whether it is in a book bag, or whether it is in a locker, the team at Niagara Falls High School has an excellent plan in place. Gaskell and LaSalle will follow similar policies and programs that they've done in the past. But again, I share that because this is something that is a law that is shared by New York State. We have a responsibility to enforce it. We looked at what best practice we have here in district. We tweaked things. We're ready for the upcoming school year. I mentioned open house. I can't underestimate the importance of being and going to open house. Mr. Zimmerman talked about transportation. I want to share that with transportation again. Go to open house, get that information, check out the MyRide app, or pick up the phone and call the transportation office. We are happy to help. That's all I have. Once again, we're ready. Members of the board, thank you for the opportunity. And we're looking forward to September 2nd.
Well, thank you, sir. Okay, we'll go through the board members' report and comments. I will start off first with Mr. Jason Zona.
Thank you, Mr. Pareto. I'm going to be very brief. Mr. Wooten, and to your staff, great job this summer getting ready for your first school year as the new superintendent. I'm going to echo some of the things I mentioned this week publicly is please, 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 parents, stay engaged. meet with your children's counselors and the educators, and know what is being offered by the district. I've learned a lot this summer. Thank you, Mr. Wooten, for your help with a lot of that. And stay engaged and know what the district offers. And looking forward to, again, my first school year on the board. Looking forward to a great year, and I think it is going to be a great year. Thank you.
Yeah. Ms. Grandinetti.
I once got some good advice that when you initially start an assignment such as this, that it's best to play back just a little bit, listen, and that congratulations. We look like we're in a good spot. And good luck to all the teachers. It's not an easy job, but it's the best job there is. Good luck to you.
Okay. Mrs. Dunn.
I just want to make a comment. Speaking of communication, first of all, I'm glad to be back. I saw a lot of good things, positive things that happened within the district during the summer. But in regards to communication, when we get information from outside agencies that they will help with a particular program in our school, this one I'm speaking of with the immunizations. Because my daughter couldn't be contacted, the school contacted me and said that my 7th grade grandson couldn't come to school because he needed the meningitis. And the school gave me information, I think it's the Niagara County, that we're doing shots on September 2nd. So they gave me the number to Niagara County. So this is where, I'm speaking of communication. When I called Niagara County to make an appointment, Niagara County says, well, I'm sorry, I can't give you an appointment because you have to go see your doctor first. So what's the point of them giving shots if the kid got to go to their doctor first? So it was just by the grace of God, my grandson was able to get an appointment September 1st, so he won't miss school. So I don't know how many other parents called that number and got that information, but that was misinformation.
Is it, Mr. President, okay to make this big comment?
Yeah, please.
I want to share, excellent point, and I'm glad you brought that up about the immunizations. In the past, Niagara County has provided a number of clinics. They peeled back their work this year and have become really, as you highlighted, difficult to obtain an appointment. Our friends at Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center stepped up. They stepped up. Through the mobile van that they have, they are coming in district with the dates. We'll be sure that through the nurse practitioners, the social workers, the team that is contacting the students, they have that information. Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center is stepping up and coming to us and recognizing the need and making sure that our kids get to school. Yep.
Okay. All right. Our newest member, Mr. Coolraj. You're lucky.
I'm just really honored to be here, and I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Mr. Velardo.
I just want to thank the staff and Stan for their hard work getting the school year ready. And I know we'll have a very good school year this year. And I want to wish the best to the teachers and the students for a successful year and safe. Especially the first day of school. People are driving like maniacs in buses and out and everything else. So we should put something out about driver safety in the first couple of days of school because we're not, people aren't ready for the buses out yet. So, and kids crossing the streets. So.
Okay. Mr. Petrozzi, sir.
Nice job, everyone. Everything looks ready. The buildings I've been in look great, and good luck to everyone. And thank you, Stan.
Mr. Kansemi.
First, I take my hat off to Mr. Buckman. You did a tremendous job with your people. I've never seen that many people in one place on a Saturday and having fun. The kids were there, the parents were enjoying it. That's the first time I saw anything of that magnitude in our district. I thank you for that. Mr. Wooten, I think our staff has been behind you. I think they're ready to go to work. And my time's up. I just want you to know that each and every one of us are important, and each of us think differently, and that's important to us. But I question whether or not when you take all of those resolutions together at one time, Tony, it's wrong. You should do them individually. I mean, it could be done rapidly, but it should be done individually. Because there's some in there I would have voted yes on, but I wouldn't do it on all of them. Thank you.
That's fine, sir. I've only picked up the slack from you fellas that were ahead of me as president. Just want you to know that all I do now is, fine, you want me to break them up, I'll break them up. But, this is the way it's been done. You gentlemen were all in this seat. I follow along. What's that? Okay, well, I'll make note of that. What are you talking about? That's your opinion, sir. You done? Bill.
First, I want to say how excited I am, and I know the board is. What a great job behind the scenes every single person in this district at every level, at every job, every role did to get the schools ready. We have a lot of students that are going to be starting, and I feel like we're very well prepared to have a wonderful school year. And through the process of hiring the new superintendent, I must say there was a lot of conversations about this team that you were going to put together, and I just want to thank Ms. Tompkins, Mrs. Buckman, Ms. Villardo, Mr. Zimmerman, Mr. Macri, Ms. McCreary, Ms. Massaro, for the great presentation this evening to get us ready. And Mr. Graneri, how could I forget my partner in pools in the neighborhood? Just great job. It was a great presentation, and Mr. Wilton, good luck. And we're here to support you and the staff if you need anything throughout the year.
Okay, that leaves me. I'll try to make this brief. Again, the staff and the administration putting together, our teachers that have done their summer preparation work. We're all behind you. We hope for a great year. I think it's going to be a great year. The information we're putting out there for you folks that are listening, try to absorb as much as you can, and especially you parents. We'll do our best. If you have any questions about things that are going on in the school, please reach out to us. You can reach out to us many different ways. Please do. Again, Mr. Wooten, glad to have you aboard. You know, it's quite a large job, but you've got an excellent staff ahead of you, or with you, excuse me. And the best I can say is good luck, so you're going to be great at it. For our new colleague, thanks for coming on board. A lot of listening first, but hey, we like what you had to say already, and you know, it'll be good. That's why we eat together. We try to bond. We talk a little bit. It's all good. I mean, but welcome aboard. And folks out there, let's see, go Bills, go Wolverines, the most important thing. Go Wolverines. All our teams are ready to go. Hopefully we'll walk a championship into one of these teams. God bless you all, and thank you very much. I think we're looking at a motion for an executive session.
We are looking for a motion for an executive session for a personnel matters which may lead to the demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a person or persons, and also collective bargaining negotiations under the Taylor Law.
Okay. Mr. Zona? Who was the second? Mr. Velardo? Under question? Judy? All in favor? Aye. Oh, yeah, hold on, we're not ready yet. I was just, okay, folks, let me get to this next before we adjourn this meeting. We are going to adjourn this meeting in memory of Bria Archie, daughter of Councilmember Brian Archie, Camille Baxter, mother of Christia Hill, Matthew Burnett Jr., retired maintenance employee, Lawrence Butch Beyer, retired director of operations and maintenance, Carmela Borgese, former kindergarten teacher, Jayla Brown, mother of Cyree Raheem Jones, daughter of Coretta Brown, Sharon Dorr, mother of our Julie Dorr, William Joseph Gallagher, brother-in-law of Tom Belanti, and Josephine and Janine Belanti. Jalen Rios, son of Jason Almeida and Celise Rios. Dorothy Dane Swick, former vocal teacher. Leota M. Trapasso, former nurse at North Junior. Maureen Ventry, former teacher. Moment of silence. Okay, thank you. Motion for adjournment? Oh, actually, okay. We'll do that during the session. Thank you. Here, Jimmy, look.